Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised that players in the WNBA are once again complaining about their minimum wage salaries? This is like the lonely women in the audience of The View complaining about the boodle breeze. It's like parishioners at Woke United Methodist complaining about distinct restrooms for men and for women. It's going to happen. I have been doing this full time for over 3 years now. There has not been a season where WNBA players have not complained about minimum wage, or complained about chartered flights, or complained about a complete lack of mainstream recognition, or complained about the thousands of empty seats in the high school gyms they play in. If there is one thing the WNBA is known for, it's the constant complaining. Maybe this is the reason that some, maybe even most WNBA players are supportive of Cam Harris. With Cam pushing to raise the minimum wage, it means players in the WNBA, they will see an immediate increase in their salaries. Now, of course, what Cam and other people who have never created a job fail to understand is when you raise the minimum wage, no one actually gets a raise. Matter of fact, the complete opposite happens. The only thing that happens when the government raises the minimum wage, we all end up paying more. Normally, when WNBA players are delusionally complaining about their salaries, we all have a good laugh about it. I'll explain in layman's terms so they understand why they haven't earned an increase in pay. Hell, if you really want to get technical with it, participants in the WNBA, they should actually be paying the league for the privilege to play. But normally, there's no justifiable reason for a WNBA player to receive an increase in their salary. But the complaint of this particular player, I completely understand it. When this player insinuates they are underpaid, not only do I believe it, I 100% agree with it. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Sunday afternoon, Caitlyn Clark and the unknown role players with the Indiana Felines. They were in Seattle to play the Stormtroopers. It looks like Christmas might be coming early for the diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert. Since returning from their Olympic break where unknown veterans in the dump went completely unnoticed, winning another gold medal, while everyone else was paying attention to whatever the hell Caitlyn Clark was doing. Since returning from summer break, Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Felines, they're on a bit of a winning streak. They've won a total of 2 consecutive games. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! Caitlyn Clark continues to break records both on and off the court, but the winning streak, that is not the cause for celebration. The winning streak is not the reason Christmas is coming early for Kat Engelbert. If the season ended today, the Indiana Felines, they would qualify to make the playoffs. And believe me when I tell you, the WNBA, they've got to have Katie Rue Clark in the postseason. If Caitlyn Clark doesn't make the playoffs, flies will be flying away from this fresh turd. Sunday afternoon, though, Katie Rue defeated the Seattle Stormtroopers. It was another dominant performance from Caitlyn Clark. After the game, dozens of mainstream media outlets attended the press conference. Being the generous superstar that she is, Caitlyn Clark, she decided to share the spotlight with one of her anonymous teammates. I think her name was Lexington Hull, or Lexie Luger. Who cares? It doesn't matter what her name is. To her credit, though, Lexington, she did score 22 points. Angel Reese, on the other hand, the mainstream media's choice for Rookie of the Year, she missed 22 layups. But all kidding aside, Angel Reese has been dominant lately. The other night against the Phoenix Masculines, she scored 11 points, shooting 28% from the field. Impressive. With Lexington sitting there next to Caitlyn Clark, the media, they didn't want to be rude. A couple of months ago, Caitlyn Clark chastised the mainstream media for ignoring another one of her teammates during a post-game press conference. To their credit, the media, I guess they took her criticism seriously. So this time around, they made sure to ask a question to the unknown player sitting next to Caitlyn Clark. They asked Lexington if she was going to purchase season tickets for her family going forward. Now, before Lexington could respond by saying, "I can't afford season tickets for my family. Hell, I can't afford a ticket. Have you seen my salary? Our Greyhound bus driver is making more money than I am." Before Lexington could issue a response that would immediately be criticized by someone like me, Caitlyn Clark, she did the dirty work for Lexington and the rest of the league. Because Caitlyn Clark knows she has the power to say this and it can't be disputed. Watch for yourself.
Get those relative season tickets now?
I mean, we might have to.
Those are pretty expensive.
We'll make sure the
our
Fever gets
salaries,
working on that.
our salaries, it's like our entire salary to get those. I'm not kidding.
We'll have someone work on that for sure.
We need people to help.
Okay, see, she was clearly joking. You're blowing this way out of proportion. No shit, she was joking. NBA season ticket prices aren't going for 75, 80 grand a year. Courtside seats to Katie Roo's next home game, they're going for as low as $600. You can sit in the nosebleeds for $6. Yes, Caitlyn Clark was making a joke about their minimum wage salaries, but the best jokes, they always have an element of truth. You heard the media laughing when she said it because they know it's true too. Caitlyn Clark, she might have been being lighthearted, but it doesn't change the fact that Caitlyn Clark knows she is vastly underpaid. Matter of fact, I don't have a problem saying this. Caitlyn Clark, she is the most underpaid athlete in the country, and it ain't even close. People will often complain about the exorbitant salaries of professional athletes, but the truth is, the top stars, they're underpaid. When LeBron James was playing in Cleveland back in 2017, his salary was around $30 million a year. I think at the time, that was considered to be the max in the NBA. Forbes, or Business Insider, Yahoo Finance, I can't remember which, one of those business sites, they did a study after LeBron James left Cleveland for LA. I can't remember the exact numbers, but when LeBron left Cleveland, the city lost 1, 2, maybe even $300 million a year in revenue. LeBron James was underpaid. Throughout most of his time in New Orleans, Drew Brees, underpaid. Top stars are often underpaid when you compare their salaries to their overall value. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't plenty of players in the NFL, NBA that aren't overpaid. Hell, you can make a strong case that most players in the WNBA overpaid when you compare their salary to the financial value they bring to the table. But that is not the case with Caitlyn Clark. I think we can all agree Caitlyn Clark severely underpaid. If there is anybody in this country that deserves a raise, it's Caitlyn Clark. Problem is, you can't give her what she deserves without raising salaries throughout the rest of the league. And the bigger problem is, the WNBA, they can't afford to pay Caitlyn Clark what she is earning right now, much less the millions of dollars that she should be paid. Historically, the WNBA, it costs the NBA $10 million a year. At the end of each season, instead of sending the NBA a dividend, the WNBA, they send their primary subsidizer an invoice. Dear Adam, I'm sure you'll be pleased to know we only lost $9.9 million this season instead of the usual 10. Thanks for your support, your favorite dump divers. P.S. Can we get some extra money for food? We're starving over here. This season, the WNBA, they're on pace to lose $50 million. $50 million. If you remove the cost of chartered flights, the league would still be on pace to lose $25 million. It doesn't take a business mind like Donald Trump to figure out, ain't no one getting a raise. Minimum wage salaries here to stay. Even with the increased ratings, the WNBA, they are still struggling to generate revenue. They have only generated $13 million in ad revenue this season. There are NBA players who will make $13 million before Thanksgiving. Advertisers, they know what the rest of us know and what the mainstream media refuses to acknowledge. The WNBA is not popular. The WNBA is not mainstream. Caitlyn Clark is. Over the weekend, I told you guys that the WNBA was losing momentum. They missed a golden opportunity at the Olympics to expand their influence and their reach. Now that they have returned, it feels like the league is losing a little bit of steam. And it's only going to get worse here in about 2 weeks when football season starts. This afternoon, I had someone email me and say, KC, you were so wrong. The WNBA isn't losing momentum. This past weekend, they drew huge ratings on ABC. No, this past weekend, Caitlyn Clark drew huge ratings on ABC. The rest of the dump continues to flounder. Friday night, Caitlyn Clark, 1.2 million viewers on ION. The Suns from Connecticut against the Dallas Wankers, same night, same network, 485,000. Sunday afternoon on ABC, Katie Rue, 2.2 million viewers. The game Sunday afternoon, it was the most watched game in the history of the Seattle franchise. The Stormtroopers, they have won the Golden Toilet 4 times, but their most watched game, it wasn't in the WNBA Finals. It was in the regular season against Caitlyn Clark. Katie Rue continues to dominate while the rest of the league is irrelevant. Saturday afternoon, CBS featured a dump doubleheader. I would imagine it's probably their last one of the season. With college football starting in 2 weeks, I highly doubt CBS is going to make room for pretend basketball. The Minnesota Linkers and the Washington Mysticals on CBS, 577,000 viewers. The New York Liberals against the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces, which according to the media, this was a big rematch. These two teams fought hard last year in the WNBA Finals to secure access to that golden toilet. This big rematch drew 874,000. Great number for the WNBA, absolutely atrocious for CBS. I don't think it's any big secret. They desperately need Caitlyn Clark to make a deep playoff run, because if she doesn't, it is going to be humiliating for the WNBA. Caitlyn Clark gets bounced in the first round, or worse, fails to make the playoffs altogether. If that happens, you are going to see what kind of draw the WNBA actually is. Hell, ESPN, they will be burying games on ESPN Deportes. But give me your thoughts on this. Caitlyn Clark makes a joke about the minimum wage salaries in the WNBA. Is this league even remotely close to becoming profitable? Outside of Caitlyn Clark, is the rest of the WNBA losing momentum, losing steam? If she doesn't make the playoffs or gets bounced early, will the rest of the league be able to draw respectable ratings? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.